Hello, bookworms! Today I am here to do a video about all of the books that I could not live without. I'm partnering with Penguin Random House for this because they're coming out with a new book that I actually got an arc of, and I'm really excited to read because it was one of my really anticipated releases for the year. It's called The Reader, and it is by Tracy Chee, and it is about a girl named Safia who lives in a world without books. Her father gets murdered, and then she goes and lives with her aunt, and her aunt tries to give her all of the necessary skills that she'll need for survival. And then one day her aunt gets kidnapped and disappears, and Safia finds a rectangular object, which happens to be a book. Her and this random stranger end up crossing paths, and even though there's no reading or books or anything in her world, she needs to use this book in order to uncover the secrets of what happened when her father was murdered, and also to try to help find her aunt. There is going to be a giveaway at the end of this video for a finished copy of The Reader by Tracy Chee, along with a tote bag. So stay tuned to the end if you are interested in winning a copy of this. So anyway, I absolutely could not live in a world without books. Obviously, I spend 90% of my time reading, probably. I would even argue that I spend more time in my life reading than I do sleeping. So yeah, there are definitely a good amount of books that I would consider books that I couldn't live without. But I think for this video, I'm just going to show you my top 5 so that it doesn't go on forever and ever. The first book that I cannot live without is actually a series of books, and I think anybody who is watching is going to guess this without any issue. And it is the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I have loved these books since I was a child, and I feel like they taught me so much as a young adult, and they just continue to teach me as I get older, and I feel like I wouldn't be the person that I was the person that I am today without these books. So these are books that I definitely couldn't live without. I feel like they shaped almost my entire life because they're seriously just the most important books to me. And I know that it's a totally cliched answer because obviously everybody loves Harry Potter, but I just really, really do. So I could not include them. The second book that I absolutely could not live without is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. Again, probably not a surprise to anyone since this is my second favorite series after Harry Potter. I love the main character quote. He is so interesting, and I cannot wait for the third book because I need to know how he ended up in the place where he is now. It's just the way that it's told is amazing. This is one that I could just reread over and over and over again. And I really think that everyone else should read this one as well because it has a fascinating magic system. And I really appreciate that it's very science-based, and there's just such a great explanation for everything. So it feels really real and really believable. The next book that I have to show you is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This whole series is one that I just absolutely fell in love with. It's obviously a much newer series than some of the other ones on this list. I just love it to pieces. I love being in this world, and I can't even tell you how often I still think about Henrietta and Cabeswater and all of these characters, and I just constantly wonder about them. And the writing is just so beautiful that it captivates you, and you just fall in love with this group of friends. And the fact that I finished reading the final book when it came out in April, I believe, of this year, and I'm still constantly thinking about them and constantly being I should reread this just so that I can be back with my old friends again. That shows you that it's a series worth reading, and worth just getting lost in. It's so atmospheric, and it's I just love it so much. The next book is also a new one, and it is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. This is hands down my favorite book of the year. I really, really loved it. I can't wait to reread it before the third book comes out next year, and I'm so excited that she's expanding upon the series. And I just love all the descriptions of the different courts and stuff. I feel like it's so fascinating. And I really, really, really am hoping that in the third book, we'll spend the majority of our time in the Autumn Court, because I feel like that would be a place where I would just love it. And I just really want to read all of the descriptions about that. This is obviously a really big book, and I hope that the next one is even bigger. I could not put this down I got through it so quickly, and this is another one that I like still think about. And the last book that I have to talk about is one that I cannot find my copy of for some reason, which is kind of like making me a little bit upset. But it's actually a nonfiction book, and it is Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer. I read this book the day that it came out, the day that it was published. I know I've like said this before, and it's a very like unbiased look at vegetarianism and veganism and just like what goes into eating meat and stuff, because the author was having a child and he was trying to decide, like, he wanted to do the best thing for his child. So he wanted to go out and explore and interview all these people and find out like the whole process behind the meat industry in America, because he didn't want to give his child something that would be like detrimental to their health. But he constantly in his life always flip-flopped between being a vegetarian or being a meat eater. So it was a very like open and unbiased look at both sides of the argument. And it just totally changed my life, because I have been a vegetarian ever since I read that book. It was like right before Thanksgiving, I remember, and I was just like, that's it, I am never eating meat again, and I haven't. So that was actually published in 2009, so it's been 7 years now that book has left that long of a lasting impression on me. So I would say that is like a pretty big one for me. And I actually also kind of want to reread that one too. So those are the 5 books/series that I could not live without. I would love to know what books you are not able to live without. Let me know in the comments down below. If you want to enter the giveaway to win your very own copy of The Reader by Tracy Chee and a tote bag, I'll leave the link down below to my blog post, and that's where you'll be able to enter the Rafflecopter. And I think that contest is actually going to be running from today, Monday, until Friday. So I'll pick a winner then and contact them by email and let you know that you won. And then we'll have to talk about the book, because I'm totally going to read this one like very, very soon. So that is all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys soon with a new one. Bye!